right, David, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We launched the Mastery and Mindset podcast, and we were talking with the top of the industry about entrepreneurship, investing, sports, and media. And you, with your amazing track record and your own office in the SoFi Stadium, a stadium for 5.2 billion. I want to learn more about it. So can you tell me a little bit more about how this all started and ended up here in the SoFi Stadium?
Yeah, well, it's really a journey of three worlds.
All right.
And the first one a lot of us are born into is the world of not enough. And it's not just growing up with a single mom, 6 kids, working 2 jobs, packing our dinner in a paper bag in between the 2 jobs, finishing her day at 11 at night, filling up turnstiles at convenience stores with greeting cards. A lot of people grow up in a world of not enough, even if their parents have a lot.
Yeah.
It's a scarce world, always fighting for more. And then the journey led me, as I graduated law school, into a world of just enough. And I find a lot of people live in a very positive world for me. And they still are in a world that's scarce, though, because it's for me. There's plenty for me. I'm blessed. I give to receive. But I'm still really living in a zero-sum game where there's not enough for everyone, but there's enough for me. So I work hard, create my luck, and everything's happening for me. I'm an optimist. I'm generous. But I still am trading and negotiating everything. And I lived that journey from the time I graduated law school, made my first $1 million, exited in 95 for $3.4 billion with West Publishing, became CEO of Samsung's phone division by the time I was 31 in 1999, met Lee Steinberg, ran the most notable sports agency. And that was the pinnacle of the world of for me, because it caught up to me, the for me world, because I had bought so many things to be happy. If I wasn't happy, I'd buy different things. If I wasn't happy, I'd buy more things. I was buying things that I didn't need to impress people I didn't like, thinking that that was for me in this zero-sum game that I was winning because I had more than most people.
Yeah.
I had over $100 million. I ran the most notable sports agency in the world called Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment. I had started a global sports marketing company with the Hall of Fame quarterback, Warren Moon. I was working in movies and TV, and I married my dream girl and had 3 beautiful daughters. I had all of that for me.
Yeah.
And until I lost it all, over $100 million, and almost lost my wife and almost lost my life, did I realize that it wasn't enough, that it wasn't a zero-sum game, that truly I could live in a world of more than enough.
Yeah.
More than enough of everything for everyone, to have an office in a training center, in a podcast studio, in the biggest and brightest and best stadium in the United States, if not the world. I could have whatever I wanted as long as it all came through me. You see, in the world of not enough, you can appreciate what you have.
Yeah.
In the world of for me, you can not only appreciate, but you can give it away, acknowledge it, because there's enough for me. But in the world of more than enough of everything for everyone, everything comes through you because you have a confidence that there's an abundant, infinite, unified system of thought of more than enough of everything. So when you ask for more, you're actually adding value because you know what it's like to be asked for more.
Yeah.
And when you live in the world of more than enough like I do, you can come from a single mom with 6 kids who worked 2 jobs, packed your dinner in a paper bag, to live a life of abundance like this.
Wow. Congrats, first of all, on all those achievements. That's amazing, right? What
Thank
you've built, the track record that you have, working with all those amazing people. But if we go back to that, because we're talking about mastery and mindset, and especially that mindset part, I would love to get in of course you touch already on it, but if you go a little bit more deeper, maybe from your 20s, how was your mindset back then, 30s, 40s? Can you share a little bit more about that and what people can learn from that?
Yeah. So in my 20s, I wanted more. In my 30s, I wanted more. And instead of always thinking I need to be more happy, more healthy, more wealthy, and more worthy, so I was always competing for more. My mindset was to work really hard, to pursue happiness in what I did, to give back to others. This was my mindset. But the shift was, I am. The mindset of understanding I am already part of this abundant, infinite, unified system of thought. I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am worthy. What am I doing to interfere with it?
Yeah.
And what it comes down to is faith. And when I talk about faith, I only talk about best option faith. I don't talk about religious, political, theoretical, spiritual. I don't care. You can, whatever you believe in is fine with me. But the best option I can find, regardless of religion, philosophy, theory, and spirituality, is that I'm protected and promoted at all times. That's my faith, that there's something bigger than me that loves me more than my mom that's protecting. So my mindset is, when things happen that I don't plan, when things happen that other people think are punishment or pain, suffering, shortages, voids, and obstacles, where everyone else suffers, my mindset is, what am I supposed to learn? Because I'm about to be in a better place, a better position, a better situation, because pain is an indicator that I have to get there, and that I have faith that although I don't understand this outcome, although I know human beings are incapable of understanding or knowing this outcome, I know from personal experience that I'm protected and promoted. So when I lost over $100 million and went bankrupt, when I had to go tell my mom that the only reason I wanted to be rich was to buy her a house, that not only had I lost everything, but I had lost her house because I didn't take my name off of her title, I had the faith at that time that, wait a second, what am I supposed to learn? Because I got a better place to be, a better situation to be in. This is not punishment. This is an indicator that I have a better place to be. And here I am 15 years later, and it has revealed the revelation that I am of faith, that I am protected and promoted. And although at the time I was incapable of knowing and understanding how losing everything, including my mom's house, is protecting and loving me, I can tell you 15 years later, no doubt. No doubt we wouldn't be sitting here in SoFi Stadium. No doubt I wouldn't have millions of people in my community of service and value that do things to help one another and know people to help one another. None of that would exist but for the lesson in the acknowledgement of losing everything and being protected and promoted, not punished by it.
And if you make that, because a lot of people, I think, are recognizing that, right? For example, wanting more, being super hungry, or the opposite, right? If you have that setback and there's something big happening in your life, what kind of practical tips do you have for those people? Because you said you need to learn about it, and I think it makes totally sense, but just in a practical way, how did you do that? How did you do that?
Great question. So what I did is I used daily practices under the guise that I can't understand or know outcomes. I then segregated time to, number one, an infinite past. 2, 24 hours today of being ferocious, and an infinite future. And so when I studied it under the guise of time, I said to myself, here's the mindset and the practices that are necessary in order to become statistically successful, meaning that I know one instant result of good behavior is good progress. I know the instant result of bad behavior, bad progress. The thing is, human beings aren't capable of seeing or knowing and understanding outcomes, so we don't see the progress. Therefore, I said it is this as a practice. Today, what do I want today in the trajectory of where I think I want to be in the infinite future, knowing that the only limitation of my future is the self-image that I have, because I'll never overachieve my own self-image. But even more importantly, the area that most people fail at is they don't realize the limitation of the past. You see, the future and the past are the only place that fear lies. The future and the past are the only thing that limits us. And the future and the past are also infinite. You can go back as far as you want. Close your eyes. 100 million years, Dan and Dave. 100 million years, we're there. 100 million years in the future, Dan and Dave. Oh my gosh, we're there. But here's the trick that I've learned in the practice of knowing what I want in a trajectory of where I want to be ferocious today, but surrender to the outcomes that I don't understand or know. It's the meaning of the past that limits us. So for me, I'm a classic example to illustrate how you can take a moment that most people never want to experience. And we know other people that have lost limbs and in addiction, all types of terrible stories. Notice the common denominator of all of them. They've been able to give the meaning of their past, their addictions, their divorces, their bankruptcies, their holocausts, whatever they experienced in the past.
They use it actually, a fuel.
They give a meaning to get them to where they want to be. They are not punished. That's the difference. So if you want something pragmatic to do, get in the practice of knowing what you want to do today in a trajectory of where you think you want to be, but make sure you align synergistically, supplementary, the meaning of your past, defining moments, historical relevance, failure, setbacks, mistakes of your past. Align the meaning with where you want to be, because the minute you don't, you lose.
I love that. I think that makes so much sense. You hear this topic, and actually you are an example for somebody who lost 100 million.
Over.
Right. It's crazy almost if you think about it, but use that and being here again, and you were able to build it up and super successful, building out a business, helping all those people. I think that's amazing. I think that's something what can people learn from, and especially that mindset and using that meaning. So thank you for sharing that. Can you tell us a little bit more where you're currently working on, or what we maybe can expect in the future?
Yeah, and I think it falls to help people as well. And you know this better than anyone, Dan. For me, my objective is to build a community of people. I'm on a mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people themselves, and have a lot of fun, to live in abundance, an infinite world. And so my objective every day is to build community of open-minded, open-hearted, and open-handed people. To build a community of people that are willing to help each other and know people that can help each other. So every single thing I do, including this interview, every single book that I write, podcast that I do, digital shows, TV shows, movies, interviews, speeches, coaching, free, group, and one-on-one, business advisory, investing, every single thing that I do in the context of activity I get paid for or I don't get paid for is to build a community of people that are willing to help each other and know people that can help each other and empower people to do the same. Because if you realize that we have access for the first time ever as individuals, not as Taylor Swift's, not as Tom Brady's, not as The Rock, but as David and Dan, that we have the ability to build communities in the millions that have a frequency of goodness, to connect more people with a frequency to give, receive, and witness, to live in abundance, then we're going to create a community that not only help each other and know people that can help each other, what they're going to do to change the world aligned with my mission to empower over 1 billion people to make more money, help more people, and have more fun, is they are going to build a community. Every one of us have the power that will buy from each other and sell for each other for life. Imagine having a community that is always buying from each other and selling for each other. With 8 billion people as a possibility and potential, you and I both have built millions of people in our communities several times. But it's a unique community because your community, they buy from each other and sell for each other, and so does mine. They're not just following like lemmings and just listening and watching a dancing bear. I could take off my shirt and dance, and I bet you I would get a lot of followers, and maybe I'd give an instant joy. I could give an instant amount of joy, but instead, we are empowering people with the values and the practices and the execution models and the incentives to be inspired to do more, live more, and to live more in a value add system of more than enough of everything for everyone.
I love that. You know my background, right? With building the soccer community and being involved in that specific niche. Can you give me maybe a couple examples of what happened in the community? Maybe some great examples, also maybe some things what happened, what you didn't expect?
Yeah, so number one, you know this about building communities as well. You have to know your essence. See, the biggest mistake that most people do in trying to build a community is they're trying to please everyone. So they're all over the place. For me, my essence was understanding my skills, my knowledge, and my desire. So my feeling was, I don't care how many followers, I don't care how many views, I don't care about any of that. You know what I care about? Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Because I know that no matter how long it takes, that eventually, if I can empower two people to empower two people with the same essence, the same frequency, the same neighborhood, that what I have started will never stop. Once you have a system that gets two that will get you two, it's just a matter of time before it's 2 million getting you 2 million, 4 million getting you 4 million. So the thing is, when I talk about these outcomes, that's the revelation that I had, because almost everybody falls within the mistake of attaching their emotions not to building community, not to empowering others, but to counting and attaching our emotions to outcomes. So what happens? They do good behavior. Maybe they, like you and I, they find their niche, they find their essence, their passion. And a year goes by, and I'm sure you remember this with 433. A year go by, and there's still nobody there. But you're doing everything.
So hard.
99% of the people quit.
Yep.
Because they've attached their emotions to how many people are in your community, not what you're doing to build the community. And if in that first year, all I had was 2 people, and this is where my community grew. I told Gary Vee when I met him, because he convinced me to do social media and build a social community.
My follow-up question, how did you start it?
Yeah, well, I had a radio show, and Gary Vee at Super Bowl 7 years ago said, Dave, make it a podcast. I told him, as closed-minded and arrogant as I was at the time, dude, there's too many podcasts. 7 years ago.
Wow.
And he said, you're making a mistake. Build a community with the podcast. You have a really great voice and you have insightful questions and answers. You'd be really good at it. I said, okay. I said, I'm going to build this then. And he said, well, you know, what's your goal? I said, I want 2 listeners that will tell 2 people they have to listen to me at year 1. And he said, that's it? I go, yeah, because then I'll be the most popular 70-year-old podcaster in the world. He's like, how do you figure? I said, math. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 2 million times 2 million the next 70 years. So in 20 years, when I started when I was 50. And that's how I got started, because people quit because they don't understand good behavior creates good progress, bad behavior creates bad progress. So when they create good behavior and don't get or understand the outcomes, they quit. And you know what's worse? Not only do they quit, they continue bad behavior, and then they let that grow exponentially. So now they got 2 million bad units, getting them 2 million bad units by the time they're 70, instead of 2 million good units, getting them 2 million good units.
If you go back to your 20s and think about that period, what is there something what you would do different? And what is that?
For sure. And I still challenge myself to do it differently today. And I challenge everyone out there, is the best piece of advice I can give everyone. Ask for help. Man, why? We don't have to do it. We don't have to do it anymore. Find someone, we're so accessible to each other. Find someone who sits in a situation you want to be in and ask them for help, especially if you're young, because you're getting a little older. I'm already older, and there's nothing that brings me greater joy than helping someone. And there's nothing that brings me greater joy than helping someone that's young. Because there's so much more potential and hope, and there's so much return on my investment. So why don't we ask for help?
I totally agree. I think the people where you surround yourself with, that makes a difference, right? The 5 people who you surround yourself with, you are the average of that. I strongly believe in that. I was always, for myself, I was always surrounding me with top entrepreneurs, top athletes, and I think that helped me in succeeding my ventures or just in a personal life or whatever. But sometimes it is difficult for people to ask that question because they know they need to do it, but do you have a practical tip how they can approach those maybe a little bit scary people, or they don't know how to get to them? What's your advice?
Well, first, qualify them with an open mind. Because all human beings have an open mind some of the time. So learn to have a qualifying question, no matter what stature or power position you think people are in. I always first test out, do they have an open mind or not? Because if they have a closed mind, it takes anyone 1,000 times the energy to re-engineer a closed mind to an open mind. So I start usually, no matter who you are, by smiling and looking in your eyes and maybe making a joke or just saying, hey, where are you from? Some open-ended question to determine, does this person have an open mind? Then no matter how much money you have, what position you hold in life, if you're talking to an open mind, they have an open heart and open hands, and they're willing to help you.
Yeah.
So then I use, and I'm happy, by the way, to send my book and this open-ended question guide to everyone, david@dmeltzer.com, for free. I'll sign my book, send it to you, ship it, and this guide. But here's the guide. Once I find an open mind by smiling, making fun of you, making some kind of open-ended question and getting a response, then I simply say, hey, what are you doing today about, what do you know today about, how are you feeling today about, and then I ask, what do you like about it, what don't you like about it? Now, you can make up your own smooth words about it, or you can go by the script, but once you know what someone likes and don't like, now you can engage in asking for help. Why? Because there's only two ways to provide value to someone. Giving them more of what they like or taking away what they don't like. So if you can find an open mind, get them aligned with the subject matter or topic that you want to talk about, find out what they like or don't like, then you can add value to their life by giving them more of what they like, by saying, hey, would it help you if I walked your dog? Would it help you if blank? Or would it help you if I took this away from you? You know, or gave you eye cream because your eye's burning? The minute you do that, then now you've set it up, because you can say, hey, do you know anyone that can help me? That's all you got to ask. Because remember, the idea of help is a community of people, not an individual, a community of people that are going to help each other and know people that are going to help each other. So, do you know anyone that can help me? Is a great way to build that community after you provided value by giving them what they like and don't like, and you've utilized your time in an efficient manner by only talking to people with open minds, regardless of how much money they make, what position, or how
100%.
famous they are.
I like that. I think that's spot on, right? You want to see how you can add value for those people or help them in what kind of way. David, I can talk with you for many more hours, but is there a way how the people can follow you, or if they're interested to get in touch with you?
I appreciate that, man, because your community is so big and you do so much for your community. Two ways best to get in touch with me. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com, like seltzer with an M,
All right.
dmeltzer.com. Or if you forget the email and you don't want to book a guide and exercise for free, come to my free Friday trainings, then simply Google me. Right? I'm on every platform, David Meltzer, and you will find me. All you got to do is ask for help. I do answer all emails myself. It's a remarkable system I have.
Great.
It's not AI yet. It is DM. That's Dave Meltzer, not direct message. Find me, follow me, search me. Danny, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, David. I really appreciate your time. You have so much knowledge. I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for being here.